Welcome everyone to Mets Baseball Recap. We got a wild one over in Philadelphia. I'm just going to say this. It was a crazy game. And we'll start with the most obvious. The Mets won, so that gets an up. It's a wild one. We got a lot to cover. We're going to start things early because, again, Peterson gave up a first inning home run, first batter of the game. So that start's always a negative. However, we are going to address Peterson in a bit. But we are going to give a second negative to Smith, who tried scoring with no outs in the second inning. Would have been a tied game, but he got thrown out at home plate. And it's like, what are you doing? You know, you're not the fastest runner in the field. You shouldn't be trying to score on a soft liner. No, and again, the runner was on first. It would have been first and third, and you try to score on it. Bad base running by the Mets there. However, we are going to give a plus to Conforto, who tied this game in the third inning with his second hit of the game to this point. Mets will end up taking the lead a little later in the game thanks to some non-errors by the Phillies. The Phillies defense in this game was horrendous. Best way to put it. Peterson ended up pitching 5 innings, gave up 4 hits, 1 run, and 8 strikeouts. Castro will come in, and Castro will end up giving up a 3-run home run, so that's going to be a negative. 2 of the runs were earned. That made the game at this point 2-4. The Mets were losing, but the Mets will start to fight back with Pilar. Pilar hit his first home run of the season, making it 3-4. Then VR will end up getting on base, and then off a single from Jose Peraza, VR scored and tied his game. And that, to me, that would have been the normal turning point of the game, in my opinion, because the Mets will end up scoring more runs. And there were some positives to break down here, but we're not going to put them as just straight up positive. At this point now, Conforto's 3 for 3. He ended up taking a walk that drove in the go-ahead run at that point, making it 5-4. So we'll give a positive there. But there are some things that happened right before that we got to address. And that was Lindor. Lindor actually walked. And if you look at that entire bat sequence from all those batters in that inning, before Alonso bats, the Mets were actually being smart with what pitches they're swinging at. And because of that, things were happening. And that's what I've been trying to say. As long as you're... And some people are saying, oh, well, but, sometimes you got to let the batter swing. I have no problems with batters swinging. Problem the Mets were making is that, one, their swings were uppercut swings. And sometimes they're not even full commitments. No, and then they're grounding out. So, but I was happy to see a lot of Mets actually taking pitches and working counts to get better pitches to actually hit. So it's a good sign. I know he didn't really, Lindor went 0 for 5, but I think there's positive in all his at-bats. He definitely starting to see the ball better. And I think tomorrow, if he doesn't get the day off, which I think he might, it wasn't talked about, but I think maybe a day off might help him just to recap what he's been doing. But then again, if not, if he's playing tomorrow, I guarantee you he's going to be hitting tomorrow. And you can just see it. He's starting to realize the mistakes he's making up there. But let's get back to where we're at. Alonso will hit a 3-run RBI double to give the Mets a 8-4 lead. And you think 8-4 entering into the 9th inning, this game is in the bag. But as you know, nothing with the Mets is ever easy. And so we got to give a big down here. Edwin Diaz is brought into this game in a non-safe situation. And I know a lot of people say, well, he's a pitcher. He should be able to pitch no matter what situation. And to that, I say, I agree. However, it has now been proven that he is terrible in non-safe situations. And if you keep using him in non-safe situations, all you are going to do is mess his head up. Because as much as we want to say these players get paid a lot of money, it is mental. A lot of the game is mental. And when you're not mentally ready for that, you will end up messing up even worse. So Diaz comes in, and this game gets tied. So that's a big down, right? We're going to give that one the down. But, of course, the home run got reviewed, and they overturned it. It's no longer, so we're going to give a positive to the umpires who made this game 8-7 instead of being a tie game. And we'll give Familia an up. Familia came in and got the save situation for the save for the Mets. This would have been a disaster if that was a tie game. And I hope that people rip Luis Rojas and not Edwin Diaz. Because at the end of the day, Diaz had no right to be in this game. Because all you did now was take Diaz away from tomorrow. Because what if we have a save situation tomorrow? Diaz is not going to be available. He threw like 30-something pitches and then complained that his back was a little stiff. And on top of all this, if you heard Luis Rojas' interview after the game, he said, he had the audacity to say he brought in Diaz because the game was a grand slam away from being tied. What? What are you talking about? You can't have a grand slam. There's no one on base. This is the stupidest reasoning ever. I don't care if it's 4 runs. Yes, in Philadelphia for 4 runs it could be easy, to give up. But don't put your closer in if that's your mindset. I understand you really want this win. You gotta have this win. But play the game smart. Putting Diaz in there was the dumbest thing that he could have done. Because, like it or not, Diaz does not pitch well. The ESPN commentator even said it. That before this game, the 7 hits Diaz has given up, 5 of them were in non-safe situations. What does that tell you? Diaz does not pitch well when it comes to non-safe situations. It is plain and simple. And I don't understand why Mets management keeps trying to put him out there thinking that, well, he's the closer. He's going to light out shut out this inning and get us the win. If it's not a safe situation, don't use him. If the person you put in gives up a hit and a run, and now it's 3 runs or less, put him in. Guarantee you he gets 3 outs. And if he doesn't, guess what? It's going to happen once or twice. But at the end of the day, if you're putting him in situations that he's not going to benefit from, all you're doing is hurting him instead. On top of that, now his ERA is now 4.22 because he gave up 3 runs. All 3 runs were earned in a situation that he should never have been put in. It's simple as that. I'm sorry, but Luis Rojas is a terrible, terrible manager. And anyone that says, oh no, Luis Rojas, he wanted to make sure he got this save. I get that. I understand that. But this is not where you do that. You're winning by 4 runs. Put in a pitcher that hasn't pitched. Let him at least try to get an out. If he can't get an out, then go to Diaz. But in this case, it wasn't. Now, Diaz said his back got stiff. Maybe that's true. Maybe it's not. I don't know. No, from what I saw, no, he was getting hit. Guess what? Peterson was getting hit in that first inning. And I expected, wow, this is going to be a bad game for Peterson. But he managed through and got through it. No, it happens. So, at the end of the day, listen, the Mets won. That's the most important thing. The Mets are now back to being 500. But this could have been real bad and turned sideways real quick. But thankfully, the Mets won. And thankfully, the umpires overturned that home run. And that's all I can say about that. Guys, it's been a wonderful week, and we'll be back tomorrow. The Mets take on the St. Louis Cardinals at 7:45. And I apologize for having the wrong time for this game because, frankly, ESPN took the game. I didn't realize that. So, my bad. But anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with me that Diaz should never be in this game as a closer, as a pitcher, if it's not a safe situation? Do you agree? Let me know in the comments. Guys, it's been a month into the season. Yes, the Mets are still missing a whole good chunk of games. But what do you guys think so far? And what do you guys think of the Mets offense right now? Because at least there was only one 0-4, and that was Lindor in that lineup. And yes, while we did lose Nimmo and Davis, at least things are positive because no, Nimmo did come in and play the outfield, and Ethan Davis should be fine. So hopefully, we'll get both of these guys back in the lineup in the normal thing. But good job by Villar and Pilar, who went 3 for 5 and 2 for 5. Can't argue with those results. And like I said, when you see multiple hits, the Mets had 17 hits in this game. 17 hits. However, the one bad thing is they did leave 24 runners on base, 6 by Lindor. But it's not just Lindor. Alonso left 3 people. Smith left 3 people. Villar left 3 people. And McCann left 4 people. McCann went 1 for 5. So, while, yes, we're hitting, but we got to hit together in consecutive ways. Because, again, it doesn't hurt. It hurts when you get a double here, and then the next guy strikes out or leaves you on base, and then next time he comes up out, now he gets double and go, great. I could have used that in this inning. But anyway, this is my longest video. This was a wild one. I hope everyone enjoyed the game. I hope everyone had a great weekend, and we look forward to Monday. The Mets take on St. Louis, like I said, and I'll be back here tomorrow. Good night, everyone.